Alright, hello and welcome. Know it's been a little while since I've done a video, but wanted to kind of do a little bit of a walkthrough on the Rhino Hunt Lab and give you guys a little bit of a demonstration about what to do and kind of how to go about kind of going through it. So you don't technically need any virtual machine in order to complete this. If you want to use a virtual machine, you absolutely can, and you can use some of the different VMs that we've gone through. However, I'm going to kind of walk through a little bit of the lab and just kind of show you a little bit about where to get started and what tools to actually kind of use. So, what the Rhino Hunt Lab is basically a forensics challenge. So, the city of New Orleans passed a law stating that possessing any rhinoceros images is now illegal, and you, the forensics investigator, have been tasked with finding evidence on this flash drive of Rhino files. So your task is to recover any Rhino pictures from the available evidence and create a short report. There's lots of different tools that can be used. The two that I'm going to be using are Autopsy, which is a pretty fun tool. That was the link to the training that I gave you guys for free, which is pretty cool. You do have to pay for it now, but the tool is still free, so you can go out and download the tool. Just go to autopsy.com and you can download it from there. The other tool that I'm going to be using for going through this is a tool called Network Miner, and that's another really easy one, also free, that you can go out and grab. So you can get this entire lab done just with these two tools overall. So what we have and what's kind of set up for us is we do know what the MD5 hashes are in general gist. And what our goal in this assignment is I'm essentially assessing you on the methodology. So how, if you were in the actual forensic investigator's shoes, that you had to provide evidence that this person did this thing, how would you go about basically holding up and showing that you followed the correct methodology for kind of finding this specific evidence? So what we have is we have 3 log files that are from captured data, so conversations and web searches that we've found. So we're going to, you open them up in Wireshark, but Network Miner will be a lot easier to use for us. And then we also have a backup copy of a forensics copy of their USB drive as well, and that's what that DD file is. So, excuse me, let's go ahead and start with Autopsy. So when you load up Autopsy, we're going to go ahead and create a brand new case, and we'll just call this the Rhino Hunt Demo 1. I created a base directory right there. That's fine. And it's just going to ask for a case number and a few other things. It doesn't really matter when we're kind of getting started. So it's going to go through and it's going to then pop up and ask, okay, well, what things are we going to be adding? What type of data source? And that DD file is a disk image. So we're going to be going ahead and adding that disk image file. So select that. Browse to where the disk image file is that you've selected on your computer. Or where you've stored it. And then we can, another good thing to do is to copy the hash of the specific file as well, just to make sure that we can compare it between the two. And it'll go through, and a couple of the things that we might want to look at is we might want to look for specific keywords. So one of the things that we're looking for is who gave the accused user access, say username and password accounts, types of usernames and passwords. So in our keyword, we might want to search for additional types of kind of keywords. So some things that you might want to set is I've already created a couple of these. These are just keywords, and to create a new keyword, we'll just go ahead and delete this list for right now. But to create a new keyword, just say new list, and because I'm looking for user or something of the sense, I'll type in use and then an asterisk to say that if there's anything after that, so it just the word just has to start with use, and then the asterisk just says if there's anything after that, add it in too, but find at least use to match to it. So we'll add that in, and it's also already looking for email addresses, and you can go through and kind of look through other things. Now, don't worry too much about if you don't forget to set this right here. All of these options and things that we can go through and set are also available once we actually load the DD file, and you can go through the tools option as well. So, but anyway, we'll go through, we'll go ahead and say finish, and it's going to go through and it will pull together, take a little bit of time. But while it's doing that and pulling that information together, let's also show you a little bit of Network Miner. So Network Miner is an incredibly powerful tool, and there's really not too much that we have to do in order to actually get it up and running. So once you install Network Miner, it's just an execution file, so you can just double click on it and it'll pop open the GUI. And what we're going to open up is we can open up each one of these specific text files, and these are essentially PCAP files, though they might not look like it. So if we open up, say, this first one, it'll open up, and what's great about Network Miner is it will go through and it will scrape everything for us. So here's all the different connection processes of the different hosts that actually were connected up to it, specific files that were utilized, and hey, it looks like I'm already starting to find images of, well, at least things that are called Rhino. And what's also nice is it also pieces together all of the potential images that it sees as well if you go to the images side of things. And look at that, we're already finding rhinos. So it has information on messages sent, credentials. So I'm not going to do all of the lab for you, but you can see how powerful of a tool this really is, so you can start to see and kind of go through different information, and yeah, it's super powerful. What's also cool about it too is if I wanted to add a second one, it will automatically add the second one in, and it will add the images and the host information built into it. So that's a plus and minus to it, is that it will add all the things together, but then it also makes it a little harder to kind of go through and parse through it. So you can do it one at a time, just close and add, or you can go through all of them. So at this time, looks like our autopsy is all finished. So a couple things to kind of go through. If you're at this point and you're like, cool, I've never used autopsy before, I don't know what to click on, that's fine. The general gist of things is it does show you a general overview, and it does actually go through a pretty good list of everything that you've done. So first thing that kind of draws my attention is we are looking for Rhino images, right? So the first thing that I would look at would say like images and videos. And what you'll see here is that this also has a tool built into it that is able to do what's known as carving. Carving goes back to the lab that you guys just did last week called steganography, where steganography is the idea of hiding images inside of other images. So when they're saying that they're carving, we're carving the images out of the hidden file. So we're carving the hidden image out of, say, the image that was already there. So what this shows is that there were in fact some images hidden inside of these other flagged images, and they were able to carve out these pictures of the rhinos. So that's what carving is. So we're able to already find a lot more pictures right there. So other kind of contents and kind of walkthroughs on stuff as well is we can look through, say, like files. and we can look at files by extension. So we can look at, say, like image files, and hey, look, there's a couple alligators, and there's a couple rhinos. So these are the rhino photos that were not hidden, and then these were the 4 alligator photos. And then looking at other things that we might see, we might want to look at, say, like documents as well. So there is one office document as well. So you can go through and kind of scroll through there. So maybe going through and reading about through this might be fun. Although it's all about chasing Amy, so have fun with that. But you might want to pay attention at certain points that maybe looking at down towards the bottom or something like that. So, other things that you have, if you're looking for a good gumbo recipe, here's a couple of recipes for you guys. But you might want to, again, look through a few other things. And again, there's certain things that might lead you astray, like, hey, sorry, Charlie. So, might not be any info in some of those files. You can dig through deleted files. So, Autopsy has been able to find a few different files as well. And you can look through some of the deleted files that were here. If you want to look at, say, like keywords, like what we set up at the very beginning, we might go into, say, keywords with, say, like email addresses. And we might look and see, like, hey, there's a specific email address called philg@mit.edu. And we might find additional information kind of built into here. So that kind of hopefully gives you a little bit of a push in the right direction when you're kind of going through this. Again, what you guys are putting together is a case report that answers these specific questions. How were you able to find these specific things? Who gave them to them? What was your methodology for going through this? So that's essentially your report that you're submitting. So hopefully that helps with kind of giving you guys a push in the right direction. Again, the 2 tools that I used, both are free, are Autopsy and Network Miner. And both of those work very well and very powerful. And that should be all you need in order to go through all of this lab. There's tons of other tools out there. You can use Wireshark if you want. Yeah, there's lots of things. But those are the ones that I chose to kind of go through. So again, hope it helps. If you have questions on anything, let me know. I'm happy to answer at any point in time. And remember, I also have office hours Fridays from 3:30 to 4:30 to help out. And I can also set up one-on-one Zoom meetings if you need as well. So, and finally, if you have any questions, just email. Alright, thanks.